Yes, yes. Peace to y'all. Happy Sunday. Happy snow day Sunday. Went to Jersey last night, man. Went to Jersey for a cypher. Shout out to my bro. Uh Lethal. Lethal the third seven. Okay, Big Gabe. Yo, Gabe was like I realized his family was like I was like my foster brother growing up. You know what I mean? I was always at his crib growing up. But yeah, the one that got me into this hip hop shit heavy for sure. Went through that school on Forest Street. Yo, waking up on this Sunday, on a snowy Sunday, had me thinking. Usually, first days of snows, I always think about this Nintendo 64 game I played as a kid. I think it was South Park, some South Park snow day game. And I just remember the nostalgia of being snowed in. It was a snow day or something, and playing South Park on 64. There's a lot of I'm gonna express some Jersey reminiscence in this video. I just feel like I have to, man. Like maybe people don't understand me or why I am the way I am. The song "Where's Home" from my latest album. When I say I have no home, I'm just a floating spirit. And going back to Jersey, bittersweet. But anyways, I think about that game on a snow day. Video games was definitely my therapy in hip hop growing up. Spent a lot of time alone, uh, wanting to be around family, but whatever. Spent a lot of time alone, coping by playing these Nintendo 64 games and hip hop music. And man, so yeah, went to Jersey last night for this cipher. Shout out to Watch the Screen. Homie Darius has stepped it all the way up in his career as a videographer. He was one of the young boys growing up, and just to see him come up and make a career out of his brand, and it's really dope, really cool to see. So yeah, Lethal invited me to go out there and rap, and this is my first time seeing Lethal in years. I don't even know how many years. And then I invited Oliver North to come pull up. And it was such a reunion, man. It was so beautiful seeing us make it. A lot of people died from our town. So many people died that are no longer here. Amazing talent, young people. And you know, shout out to North for driving me home yesterday in the snowstorm. I don't know how the hell I would have made it home without you. Feet was definitely killing me. I was going to trek it though, because I wanted to do that cipher, not to just only show love, but for sure to get some content as I'm loading up for my Japan trip. Maybe I'll vlog about that another day. Um, me and North were talking, and even not for nothing, like me and Gabe had a falling out, weren't talking for a while, and he was asking me like, "Yo, what's up? Like, I heard you don't went Hollywood or whatever," and I'm like, nah, people I guess say that when you move to New York and try to better yourself, but really, Jersey is such a dark memory for me. It's such a like the mental traumas that I've been through in Jersey. Uh, it was really an accomplishment for me to survive that place. Um, where's home? Brings me to this topic of where's home. I never felt like I belonged in Jersey because it was always a bouncing around situation, going from East Orange to Montclair and back and forth. Never had like an established family, out there. We was just immigrants bouncing around and like trying to. I always felt like I was just trying to fit in, and definitely in Montclair. Montclair is such a special, unique place. Like growing up the way we did, and being around North and Lethal and all of them just brings me right back to that place. These are the people that really got me into hip hop, and even he was saying last night, North is a white guy, and he was saying like, yeah, I was spoiled growing up, man. Like I had the NPC in high school, and it was probably like, $2,000, 1,500 or whatever, which is probably 3,000 now. And it's like, back then to make beats or produce or make music or anything, you like that shit was bread, and I say all that to say that how special Jersey is, where I love it, man. I love it. I hated it growing up. I always wanted to leave because I just didn't feel in play. I didn't feel like I belonged. But in hindsight, and growing older, and still having these friendships, like a North, who's really a brother, man, and it's so crazy that like there's really nowhere in America that I've visited or been to that reminded me of Montclair. It didn't matter if you came from privilege, you were white, black, Indian, Asian. It was such a unison of like, you're either cool, you make music, you're talented, or you're not. I don't even like, North is as white as it can be, but the soul of these people, man. There's no race, and the world we used to live in, where it's just like you're either dope and you got it or you don't. It didn't matter if North was lived in a nice house, and I remember going to his crib and being like, man, like I'm not living like this, but we didn't think like that. It was just because all sorts of walks of life, from the grimiest people would be up in there to rich to poor to, and that's what also makes Jersey so unique. Like, it's grimy, but also nice. It's the suburbs, but it's also hood, and it's education and good public school systems, but it's also gang banging and the car theft capital. And the uniqueness of being from that place, man. Like, I really appreciate that I grew up and had that experience. And of course, it's bittersweet because even when we were talking about like mental health like last night, when he's driving me home, and he's like, "Yeah, I kind of noticed you were like down sometimes or whatever, but we was kids, and no one knew what depression was. But man, super depressed growing up. It was so weird, and this snow day brings me back again to playing 64 and being really depressed during those years in the late 90s, but being around so many cool people, like so many cool people, like amazing rappers, amazing next level rappers and producers, and talented, swagged out, confident, just like confident beyond their years. Being around those people, even though I was depressed and I was not one of them, I was not cool, I was not that good at anything. I was always all right, fitting in, trying to prove myself all the time. But just realizing that, like, the unique culture that I come from, of Montclair, New Jersey, I'm really privileged to have experienced that and lived that. But also at the same time, the bittersweetness is the pain, man. The pain of never feeling like I belonged. And for people that think I've gone Hollywood or whatever, it's just really, I have no home in New Jersey. There's no, I have friends now that I can come visit. We're all adults now and got our own cribs and shit like that. But like, I miss having a home. My family, my mom lost the house many years ago, so I don't have anywhere to call home in New Jersey. But just being there last night for that cypher and seeing Clifton, which I spent many years in, and just thinking about all the years of living out there and wishing I lived in New York. Um, yeah, it's really, really an eerie feeling, man. Um, but the cypher was dope. It was just dope to see that, like, Oliver North, who fucking looks like he is a school teacher, but he looks like a school teacher, and just when he goes on that mic, it's just stops the room. Real legendary Montclair dude. And same thing with Lethal. Like, we really like the Avengers of our town, man. Like, old heads in our 40s now, that fucking, man, like, we was there. We was always there killing shit. and we had our little rap group, and we used to do performances and all sorts of stuff, um and just to see us step up in that cipher and still rip shit down the way we used to, man. And the fact that we're still alive, man. Rest in peace, Big Miz. Rest in peace, Bones Rock, Gus Farage, Cosmos. You know what I mean? Like, rest in peace, India, man. Young Noble, Fatal Hussein, Anand, um, just so many. Joe Monderoy, so many that have passed. And just to know that, like, we're really like the last of our generation from our town. Um, we still pushing this envelope, living our adult lives, but still doing this music shit. Just felt really proud. But yeah, going back home, quote unquote, uh, bittersweet. It's like I always felt lost, just walking around these little towns, dark, quiet streets, uh, trying to figure out where I belong. But then realizing another thing, what's so weird, how time moves on and years pass, and it seems like it's so much, so rich in the depth of, like, living in an apartment for half your life, living in this house, living in this town, and you grow this attachment to these places, and in in all actuality, it's really just a blip. It's just like the apartment building I grew up in had long gone, as many people have lived in there, and these places were so significant to me, and so many memories, and so important to me. But we're really just passing by, just a passing experience that, someone else takes over. Every place I've lived in, now someone else resides, and it's just a short blip of a memory in compared to the whole planet. You know what I mean? Um, it's almost like, is it meaningless? It means so much to me as the individual, but in totality, it's like we're just renting and passing by in life, and in these, in these places that we call home. It's all temporary. And yeah, really strange feeling, man. Really strange to go back home after all those years and actually catch the bus, like the same bus I used to take to go from Clifton to Manhattan every single day, just wishing I lived in New York. Back in what, 2009, 2010, when, like, New York was like a different New York. New York was different back then. 15 years ago. And shit, being on that same bus, man, yeah, that was really cool. Shout out to everybody that shout out to everybody that I saw last night. Um, really dope event. Really felt like home. And I've always, again, had my weird feelings about Jersey, and it's really because of the trauma I've been through, and the trauma of never feeling like people really have my back, or or look at me as just some figure but not the person, wondering. And North really talk, like, I felt like he was my therapist last night. God damn it, like, really talked to me and as a person, and like catching up after 20 years of just kind of knowing. I've known these people since 15, 16, 17, and we're all kids, but really catching up to see what it is, because we're just experiencing each other as just rappers, just in studios trying to make songs. We were teenagers, like, discovering Fruity Loops and, like, shit like that, and just making music. But me, I'm like, this is an escape for me. This is an escape for me, not taking myself out and removing myself, and they're just looking at me. It's just, oh, you're just another rapper or whatever. And it was so important to me that I was in those environments and being around these talented people that really inspired me to be better, not just to. And these are things where it's just like, for my little brother, my actual little brother, I feel deep pain for, because if you don't have these outlets in such a dark environment, the dark suburbs of Montclair, New Jersey, where so many people lose their mind. You know, people see Montclair and they think it's so sweet and nice and houses and but so many people have mental illnesses in this little town that there's no coincidence that there's some sort of dark cloud going over. So many people have lost their mind coming from where we come from, for one reason or another, and you know, including my little brother. And when you don't have these outlets of hip hop, the hip hop outlet that I had, I just wanted to be good. You know, Oliver North was always light years ahead of niggas. This white boy raps better than most people. He just never really like I don't know if he understood how to do the grind part, but talent wise, man, he's just one of the best. And being around him, he's younger than me, and being around him and Lethal and all these other people were around that had so much talent, I just was like, me feeling like I'm late to the hip hop party and trying to be a rapper thing. I was just trying to be good. I just wanted to impress niggas. I just wanted people to feel, I just wanted to be one of them and be cool and be looked at as like, oh, he's dope. And that's one of the things that inspired me to continue fighting through the pain, you know, fighting through the confusion and not succumbing to the dark energy that was so present in my life and in my being, wanting to be better and impressing these people who were so cool. Girls thought were cool, they were popular. It didn't matter if you were white, black, whatever. You were popular, you were cool, you were dope. That's all that mattered, coming from where I come from. We didn't even think about race back then. It wasn't even a topic back then. Didn't even know what the fuck that shit was until I got older, because that's just the type of town this place is. And that, me wanting to be dope, is what, one of the things that inspired me. Me wanting to impress my peers and be like, oh, I could do that. I know I could do that too. Saved my life, man. Saved my fucking life. You know, people try to downplay and shit on hip hop, but man, it's hip hop is bigger than what you see on TV. It's more than what you hear on the radio. This culture of hip hop is saving lives out here. Whether people get famous off of it, make $1 million from it or not, the real culture of hip hop has saved so many lives, and including myself. You know, just wanting to be dope, just wanting to prove myself to all these peers around me that were already light years ahead, had the vocabulary, knew how to flow, had the sweat, all the shit. And yeah, man, I really appreciate being from where I come from, and the experience I got and the people that I was surrounded by. One change in that formula and I could end up in a different place like many others, that let, you know, the mental traumas and the darkness come them. So yeah, man, peace to everybody I saw last night. That was really fun. I'm glad I went, even though it was a 2-hour trip. Very happy I went and got to see everybody again. Yeah, man, where's home? Home is your spirit. Home is inside of you. Home. Yeah, I'm gonna get to the rest of this day. I was gonna go to the gym. I'm like, this snowstorm out here. I think the universe is telling me just to relax a little bit. I've been doing a lot, busting ass, boy. Loading up for this Japan trip next month. I'm performing in Japan, y'all, January 10th. And I got a lot of shit I need to do before this next upcoming month. I'm kind of tripping. But appreciate y'all rocking with me. Gonna be making beats today. Who knows? Maybe I'll go live making beats later. We'll see. But appreciate y'all.